Good afternoon, everybody. What it do? Another Monday. People are upset in their cubicles. Sally and Judy. Those old fans of the sports travel will remember that. Oh, hi, Judy. How you doing today?
Shut up, bitch.
Shut up, bitch. Or another one. Excuse me, bitch.
Excuse me, bitch.
Welcome, everybody, to a special bonus episode here of the Hoots Podcast on this Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Is your boy, the nefarious brother Adam, aka Joshie Lopez. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. Not so well of a weekend for the Celtics and Lakers, much to our enjoyment. I am Joshie. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter if you like at the Hoots Podcast. I'm also joined today by a brother of all brothers. I could call him my OG. I could call him a mentor. But I'd just rather call him my brother, the Snowman, Brian Snow.
It's finally good to be with you on the podcast, my friend. Finally good to be with you.
Now, for those who are watching, if you're easily offended, that's not my problem. It's a your problem.
That's a you problem if you're easily offended, especially with my crazy ass, as much as I love George Carlin.
And now full disclosure here, as over the years I've done shows with Snowman, like this is just like with any show we time to produce. We just want you to feel like we're sitting next to you talking about sports or whatever. So don't take it too seriously. If a couple of curse words come out, just don't get in your panties, all right? We got enough morose sissies out there as it is. We don't need more. I can't believe he said that in the podcast.
Yeah, 21st century is chock full of these sissies. Shut up, bitch. We've said worse.
Shut up, it. So what's going on, Snowman? Long time no see.
Well, 2 years ago, I got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and now I'm in full remission.
Damn right.
I've beaten it.
It didn't stand a chance.
Oh, no. It didn't stand a chance. Especially, I got to show a picture here. Especially when this pretty lady, my beautiful wife, said, oh, hell no, you ain't leaving me that quick.
No shot.
He ain't done. No shot at all. No shot at all.
Man, where do we start, man? I put a little title out there. Is Jimmy Butler today the modern day Michael Jordan? I think Stevie Wonder could give you the answer, and that's yes. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. I mean, White Sox just swept the Royals this past weekend at Comiskey Park. I'm not calling it guaranteed.
I can't call it. I cannot and will not ever call it guaranteed rate field. I can't do it. I just can't.
No shot on that.
None. None.
The Cubs got their butts kicked in Philly this weekend. What's worse, going to Philly or getting your ass kicked in Philadelphia?
Getting your ass kicked in Philadelphia.
I have this saying, Philly is trash, but that's my opinion. And then, hey,
I'm the city of Philadelphia, and at least we ain't Cleveland. I'm the city of Philadelphia.
Snowman, you know my feelings on Cleveland. We don't have to start there.
That's why. Look, that's why I said it in a simple statement. That's exactly why I said it in a simple statement.
Nah, man, we could. Cleveland is a separate podcast just for one episode itself. Okay.
When we get together again, we'll dedicate a full 2 hours just to Cleveland because I got some adventures that I had, if you want to call them that, in that trash heap of a city.
Yeah. I sent you a message earlier on Facebook. I was doing the whole Major League 2 bit. Turn into a parking lot. Back it up.
Back it up. Back it up.
Get all the bulldozers on fucking God's green earth directed over there.
I don't think even all the bulldozers can help that joint.
On a lighter note, Blackhawks got the number one draft pick. I saw that last week. Mm-hmm. Connor Bedard, come on down.
Connor Bedard. And the last time we had the number one pick, it turned into Patrick Kane.
Right. Come on down is Price is Right. Right, that's the
Yes, it
line.
is.
Come on down. Get your pets spayed and neutered. Yeah,
Now, Josh should have known I would be I would be prepared. You should have known.
This segment brought to you by the fine folks at 670 Score. No, I'm kidding. We provide good content, actually.
How long has it been since we've hung out on a show like this, man?
It's been too long. I don't know, maybe
Way too long.
two or 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, it had at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because the last time we hung out on a pod together, I was in North Carolina, and I'm now back in Indiana. Like I said, getting some great health care thanks to my beautiful wife Jody, and my children, my grandchildren. They've all cheered me on. You were one of the first to break the news on your podcast about my diagnosis, and to say that I appreciate you for the almost 8 years that we've been friends would be a horrid understatement.
I know, man. Just looking at you, man, you're back in rare form. Like nothing even happened. That's the best thing about it. You sound great. You're back to laughing. I mean, the wit never went away. I mean,
No,
you're just born with it.
there's just more of it now than it was
Right.
a few years ago because I was going through so many health problems. It wasn't even funny. But doggone it, I'm in a much better place right now.
And the best thing about it is that you got even more clarity than maybe you didn't realize you needed on maybe certain things that you weren't thinking about.
That is the truth. A lot more clarity than what I had before, and I think a lot of that started when I met Jody, when I met my wife, because man, I can't even begin to tell you the effect that she's had on my life. And to say that she rescued me on now 2 occasions is an understatement.
Yeah.
Before I met Jody, I was homeless living in Michigan City, and I thought, fuck a whole lot of this. I'm not worth it. And then she comes into my life, just bounces in, and we were talking and texting back and forth for a good 2 months. And
Right.
I said, okay, I want to hear her voice. September 1st, 2018. And you know me, I have to stand out there. I have to do things weird, and people who know me know I'm this way. So I said, okay, how can I get her attention? So I'm doing a football game between Michigan City and Chesterton, and that was actually a postponement because the night before, August 31st, we got rained out.
Right.
We got thunderstormed out. So I go back to Chesterton next day, climb all the way up the stairs, get up to the top, and I'm out of breath. And all of a sudden, it just hit me. I said, okay, how am I going to make an impression on Jody? So I opened the phone and I put it in my headset. And as soon as I heard her giggle, I was a goner. I'll admit it.
Yep.
I heard her giggle, and I knew it. I just knew it. When I heard her laugh and when I heard her voice, I just knew it.
Right. You just know.
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways, people try to tell you, "Oh, you're just blinded by things," but no, you only person that can tell you what is and what isn't is what's inside of you, and the man upstairs.
That's it.
That's for everybody that's watching and listening to this right now. Like, be cognizant and have some self-awareness. Like, it's okay to trust what you feel and what you see. For better or worse, we can make mistakes and learn from past relationships, blah, 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 blah. But when you know, I had that same exact feeling when I was in Oviedo with my lady. Well, she's the one for me. That's another long story for another time that we're not going to go over about it. But I had that moment when I was there and meeting her parents, and where you have like I wouldn't say demons, but you have like so much like internal weight come off your shoulder, and you can just breathe. You know what I'm talking about, Snowman? Like you can
Yes,
just
sir.
breathe, and like you're just set free, and this is my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you know. That's what it was for me, and I'm sure that's how it was for you.
I I tell you what, man. There have been so many moments between Jody and I that just confirmed everything I felt when I heard her voice. And the first, the first official date we had took us to Northern Illinois because I had to cover a game. And the next day we went to Bob Evans, and she went back to Terre Haute, and she dropped me in Michigan City. And all of a sudden, like I'd say 2.5 weeks later, she says, "All right, you can't do this long distance stuff, nor can I. You have
Right.
until Thanksgiving of 2018 to move in." I said, "Fuck that shit." And before Halloween, she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "You see all this? This is everything I have. I have my equipment, I have my clothes. Let's go home." And that was that. And someone posed a question to me: would I um, be in a long engagement with someone? Hell no. When you know, you know. I mean, I proposed to Jody January 2nd, 2019, June 25th, same year. Bada bing, we got married.
Say that date again.
June 25th, 2019.
Wow, man. You have no idea, like just like a wave just smacked me in the face.
I get
Like
it.
that day holds a special day for me because that day I found myself when the shit hit the fan when that trip was going on.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, I think it was something just came over me, and I finally found like who I am,
Hmm.
and that's just fucking wild, man. That's the crazy thing about life, man. You got married. I found myself, even when my heart was fractured at the moment.
Hmm.
That's wild, man. Wow.
The significance of that date, that would have been my dad's 84th birthday. And
Yeah.
that's why I chose the day to always honor not just my wife, but to honor my dad because
Right.
that's his birthday.
That was let me try to collect. That was it a Monday or Tuesday?
That was a
You
Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
That
There
was
you
a
go.
Tuesday. Hey, do you know
Wow.
how many people have asked us, "Why are you getting married on a Tuesday? Don't you want to get married on a weekend?" And then when we explain to them, "Look, June 25th is my dad's birthday, no matter what day of the week it is."
Right.
And I wanted to get married on her birthday, which is the 22nd. But then she said, "Why don't we get married on your birthday?" Which, of course, is July 21st. And I said, something in the middle has got to click. So when we both talked about it, and it wasn't long when we came to realization, okay, best way to honor Pops
Yeah.
and honor the family, June 25th, Dad's birthday. And it was perfect.
Can't get any better than that. That's
Mm-mm,
perfect, man.
mm-mm.
Hey, let's I wanted to start off some sports stuff here with this. I talked about this with you over the weekend. I had a chance to rewatch The Last Dance over the weekend. I haven't watched it since the original airing.
Right.
And these people talk about a lot of great different sports movies,
Hmm.
documentaries, etc., etc. And I don't know why I watched it. I it wasn't because I was lacking any like sort of motivation. Sometimes I would go to like music and maybe some movie if I needed like a pick me up, like okay, I need like a reminder. But
Hmm.
it was just on, and I put it on in the first. I think I started with the Kobe episode, right? And you see Michael talking about Kobe, and he's like, I don't care how good he is. I'm gonna show him something.
Hmm.
This is for an All Star game at Madison Square Garden, right?
Yep.
And it kind of brought me back to like when I first met you and like how you kind of brought me under your wing and like how kind of like our brotherhood and how we started off from there. Like you had no reason to give me a time of day or acknowledge. I got the shout out to Roman Reigns, our tribal chief. But you had no reason to put time into me and put me under your wing, but you did, and feel like we feed off well with each other as the years gone by. And uh, I've said it before 100 times, but I'll say it here, man. I could be even more grateful for you for getting me to where I am today for my broadcasting career and in life in a lot of ways too. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Well, you mean the world to me. I knew it from the first day that we met at a Starbucks, no less.
Downtown.
Jackson and State at Starbucks. Met at a Starbucks. Adams and State. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Man, Adams and State met at a Starbucks. Who knew that we'd form a brotherhood then? And it's like, well, I know this. I know this will work. And I knew what you wanted to do because I've been there. Yeah. I was looking for a mentor of my own. One of my mentors, the late great Jim Durham, and of course John Rooney, who's now the play-by-play voice of the Cardinals. You know, he just said, "Be yourself." I had a chance to meet him. I had a chance to meet Wayne Larrivee. I've had a chance to have Robert Ford, voice of the Astros, on my show, and all these guys that I meet. You know, they're all my mentors. Of course, my biggest mentor is my dad, and before him, my grandfather. You know, because they were like right there. They cultivated what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do the same for you, and whomever wanted to come aboard this crazy ride. Like I said, met at a Starbucks. So y'all know that day I was high on caffeine. I've been drinking. I had been drinking caffeine all day. And I wasn't even supposed. I don't even like coffee. I wasn't even supposed to like coffee.
Right.
I wasn't supposed to like coffee. But when we met, I had two drinks. One of them was a coffee. The other was a green tea lemonade. Yes. I'm thinking, okay, if I'm gonna sleep, it'll be by the time I take the subway out to the South Side to get home. Yeah. And of course, at the time, I was living with my mom. And it's like, but I knew it, and you constantly stayed on me and like, okay, can we do this together? Can we do this together? Hell yeah, man. I think the most fun we had that I think the first game we ever did together was a football game with your alma mater.
Yep.
And it was colder than shit that night.
Kind of colder than the Boston Celtics last night. It was. Go on.
It was colder than the Lakers against Denver the first three games of that series, and even colder than what the Celtics put up against Miami.
Right.
But we did that game, and Mark Farina was there because Mark was the PA announcer that night.
Yeah.
We did that. We met there, did the game, and then all of a sudden I hear you say, "I got to have more games with you." I said, "We will figure this out." Lo and behold, the Noble basketball tournament came in, and not only was I the play-by-play announcer, I was also the PA announcer.
Yes.
And you looked in awe. I'll never forget this. You looked in awe when I set up the PA mic, and then I pulled out my headset. And folks, if you know Josh, he's very direct. Because Josh looked at me and said, "What the fuck are you trying to do?" I said, "Josh," and I'm trying to be diplomatic about this. And then Josh just turned me and looked at him and said, "Just tell me what you're doing." I said, "Well, I'm not only doing a play-by-play call, I'm also doing the PA. I'm also doing the public address." "How the fuck are you going to do that?" "Watch." Fortunately, I had a microphone stand, and I was able to put the PA mic there and fade down my play-by-play mic, and I showed you how I connected everything. The only thing I couldn't do was record the games onto my computer. I had to use a separate recorder for that. And I didn't think about it until the last minute. I said, I got to use the computer for music. What am I going to do? And then I realized I had my digital recorder on me. It's like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And you looked and saw all the wires I had in my bag, which was like endless.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell did you get all these? One piece at a time. That was one of the first things I taught them. Like, one piece at a time. Don't try to get them all at once like I did. All right, you got to figure this out. You got to figure out your own delivery, and you got to get them one piece at a time. But the most horrible mascot we ever saw.
Oh God.
Was that fucking puma. If y'all have never seen
the Gary Comer
Pumas, if y'all have never seen a green ass puma, this was 2014. We did that day.
Yep.
And we're like, Josh shot me a picture of that and went, what the fuck is this? And I turned around and I went, the fuck?
This is a full shoot. When I first saw it, before I even took the picture, Snowman, it was like a good 3 minutes. I had to pick my jaw off the fucking court.
I believe it.
I'm like, what in the blue cockamini is this? I thought it was a rib.
Look, let me bring the great Chris Bass in when he said,
"What in the all types of blue hell?"
Exactly.
And you had to take you took the picture, and the only caption I got from you was, "What the fuck?" What the fuck? What? Just for effects only. What the was that?
I'll never forget your facial expression when you looked back at me after you saw it, man. If you want comedy gold, man, we had
that was it. That was it. Like, ain't no way that some bitch is supposed to be walking, let alone walking toward me.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, I know it was a kid inside that costume. I get it. But this puma was walking toward me, and I nearly ran.
It didn't even look like a puma. That's the thing.
It looked like a lizard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like a lizard that survived death.
It looks like something you got at a flea market by the White Sox park on Sacramento. Oh my God.
You didn't even want to get it off of Sacramento Avenue.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't want to get that son bitch off of Sacramento Avenue. If you did, you knew you got ripped off. You got ripped the hell off if you picked the thing like that up off of Sacramento Avenue.
Oh, that night was crazy. And that night too, it was like cold, like 5 degrees or something like that. It was ice on us.
As shit.
We had
cold as shit that night.
Right. We had one particular. It wasn't a game. We had one good day when we got to hang out with each other. It was bringing up good memories because it was my birthday a couple weeks ago. We celebrated my birthday at
Bar
Louie downtown. Yes. With the big bag of win, Frank Sprinkle.
Me, and Frank. We had Sean on the phone giving him all kinds of shit.
All types
of shit. And every waitress in that joint we were hoping would come toward us, and yet it didn't happen.
They missed out. That's how I look at it.
And was bad. They kept coming toward us. What's going on? It's this man's birthday, and we're celebrating. And I remember I drove to. I lived in Gary at the time. I drove to the train station and took the train into Chicago. Met you guys there. I was so tempted to get a beer that night in celebration. But had it not been for the fact that I had to take the train back to Gary and I had to drive.
Right.
I had to drive home. Oh hell, I can't drink anything. But believe me, I had one when I got in the house.
I want to bring in a Last Dance reference into this because I remember that night when we were calling Sean and he was like, "Man, the Celtics had a better dynasty than the Bulls, right?" So bear with me as I pull my cap up, right? he's going rambling on about the Celtics. And you remember when Michael was listening to Gary Payton say that he could cover him and all
Yep.
this stuff,
Yep.
and then Michael's looking at the iPad. He's like. that was me as so I was going on this soliloquy about the Celtics. Like, come on, man. Who you like to?
Well, for some reason, an Idaho resident is a Boston fan. I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Yeah, it gets haircuts at Walmart. The Walmart haircuts. Yes.
How much shit did we give him for that? Just for that alone.
he always took it in stride though. That was the
He
fun
did.
part of it. Yeah,
He did. I mean, listen, y'all spent 2 hours ribbing me on my birthday when I lived in LaPorte, Indiana, and I knew it was coming from everybody. But one of the best birthdays I ever celebrated.
we had a free for all. That was kind of what the sports drive was in a nutshell. Like it was just guns a blazing.
You know what? Every time I did that show, I was coming off of doing my morning show, and I'm like, okay, how much fun can I have here?
Right.
And I forgot the program we originally used, but it was a program where you could kick people off.
Blab.
That's it. That's it. It was where you could get pissed at someone and you can kick them off, and then they jump right back on. And Sean used to try to kick us off all the time.
Like, who made you the producer? Like, what's going on here? Oh man, Blab was interesting. Like
That was
like
for the time that we had it. For the time that we had it, Blab was so interesting.
It was easy to use. You get some really good viewership out of it. You didn't have to, you didn't have to pay money for it and all this extra bullshit. Like,
I wish they'd bring it back.
I know.
I do. I really wish they'd bring Blab back. That would be a hoot and a half if they did bring it back, and then we were allowed unlimited people to come on at one. Well, the only drawback to Blab was you could only have 4 people on at once.
Right.
That was the only drawback in its infant stages. And we had like what 5 or 6 extra people waiting to come on at once.
Yeah. that chat box was wild too,
That
man.
chat box was lit the fuck up every time we came on air, man.
Every time.
Every time we came on air, the 4 of us would jump on, you, me, Sean, and Frank. And then all of a sudden, there's like 6 extra people waiting in the chat box, going, "Hey, I want my turn." One of us has to get booted yet, and one of us would get booted thanks to Sean,
Right.
and then the other guy would jump in, and then I would get booted, and fuck this, get out of here.
That was a blast.
Oh man, we had so much fun. I was living in LaPorte, Indiana at the time, and I went through hell and high water in a bad relationship, but I had you guys to lean on. But man, every morning we did that show, and I remember you saying and bringing us together, look, we're going to keep this at an hour. And after that first day, I said to you, Bullshit. This has got to be 2 hours.
Yes. It was a losing proposition on my end.
Yes. To try to keep what we do to within 60 minutes. That wasn't after that first show where we went completely off the rails after minute 1. There's no way we were going to contain that to 60 minutes. Not a chance. Not a chance.
And then we sprinkled in a lot of different things throughout the time period of the show. We had we did a little like imitation tribute to Ray Clay with Bulls introductions. Those were fun. Like the Big Bag Win and Skip Bayless's biggest fan, Sean Man. And then we have Snowman trivia. That was always fun. And then of course the Skippy Bayless Bash Hour, which is one of my proudest accomplishments as a content creator.
I wanted to get through the first hour just so we can get to the Skippy Bayless Bash Hour. I wanted to get through, and you kept telling me, you would tell me in a chat every time, get through this hour, then we can have fun. Like, fuck all y'all. Can we just do this for 2 hours? Can we just do this for 120 minutes, please? Because the more you brought in, and toward the end of the run, the more Skip Bayless quotes you brought in, we were going longer than 120 minutes. I mean, the next thing you know, we'd start at 10 in the morning Central Time. Next thing you know, it was 12:30.
Right.
Hell, one time we went to 1:30. And I had to go because I had to do a baseball game the one afternoon we went 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I had to go because I had to go to a baseball game. And I went, and Sean's like, hey, where are you going? We're just getting started. I have to finish because I have a baseball game to do.
And don't forget the Colin Hurd update. This is the Herd. And hey, you remember our famous line at the beginning of the show, right? It's well, let's say, for example, right now it's 11:40 a.m. Central, 12:40 in East. If you live on the West, figure it out.
Figure it out for yourself. Figure it out for yourself.
I love that show. We had a blast, and hey, just like any show we did, we were usually right with what was going on, especially football picks, NBA discussion. Let's bring us back to this. I'm glad I have you here because you got to experience this. I don't know how old you were when the Bulls had their last championship in '98. I was 4 at the time. How old were you at that time, if you could recall, Snowman?
I was 28.
All right, so you're my age, right? As the Bulls dynasty came in, which is crazy. You got to see the entire thing.
I got to see the whole run.
Even the years beforehand, when they were struggling against the Pistons, you saw the whole thing.
Yep.
When I've seen like the imagery of the city, like, you know, they had those B-roll shots as the last dance was going on, and you see those NBA final logos on the United Center, and like just the imagery of Chicago. Even seeing Michael Jordan drive into the United Center and that big ass ramp they go down there, right?
Yep.
Can you explain to me like how it was just from watching it either in person, the vibe in the city? Like, do you think that was accurately depicted in the city and how like Chicago was shot as a city? You know, I'm getting at with how.
Let me put it this way. I had a chance to go to Game 2 of the World Championship Series in 1991 at old Chicago Stadium. You thought Game 2 was something crazy, and this is after we lost Game 1, 93-91, against the Lakers. You want to talk about a buzz. The Bulls and the NBA Final, 1991. You couldn't write that script even more as perfectly as you did.
Right.
Because I remember at my parents' house, I can't even describe it. because we were all sitting on pins and needles waiting for 2:30 that afternoon, 3 o'clock tip-off Central Time for the Bulls and Lakers. And this is when they played finals games in the afternoon and didn't waste the time or the energy to try to get people to tune in at night where they were going to fall asleep by the fourth quarter anyway.
Right.
This is Sunday afternoon. Man, I can tell you the entire South Side alone was buzzing. The entire South Side alone was upside down. And then when the game started, myself and my parents were in the back room, glued to the television.
Yeah.
Just absolutely glued, from the pregame show with Bob Costas to Ray Clay's pregame introductions to every shot of that game. And after that one, even though we lost, we're like, when's the next one? When's the next one? Which happened to be that Tuesday, and we ran them out the joint. But yeah, it was pretty accurate. And I mind you, I did not watch 1 minute of the Last Dance documentary because I lived the goddamn thing. I lived it.
The whole all the drama with it too, right?
Yes. On and off the floor. I've had so many people on Facebook, God help me, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to basketball because I draw my opinions from the Last Dance documentary. You stupid motherfucker. I didn't need the documentary. I lived the goddamn thing.
The sources you needed was your left and right eye.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And a couple pair of these I went through, all right?
Yeah. Can't forget the glasses, of course.
Can't forget the glasses. I lived The Last Dance. I lived the championship series. I lived the entire dynastic run from 88, Michael's first MVP year, to first championship in 91, June 12th of 91. All of it. I lived it all. No one can tell me anything different or try to cite anything different that I don't know, and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Bulls. Lived it all.
Right. I'm just picturing it right now. Like they mentioned this in the doc where it was before before game one of the Supersonics series. By the way, bring back the Seattle.
Bring back the Seattle Supersonics, please.
Yes. So
please bring back the Seattle Supersonics.
This is the 72-10 team. So they have Ahmad Rashad talking about, he's like, him and Michael Jordan are at this restaurant. I'm picturing maybe it's either Gibson or Carson's, a rib place downtown, which was very popular. I remember during that time, the 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
I can picture that. And George Karl walks in, doesn't even acknowledge Michael Jordan while he's there. And Jordan's like, I took that personally. It's just amazing. Like, he found the littlest. I probably would too. It's crazy how much like similar characteristics that maybe I don't show at times that I can relate to Michael in how he carried himself in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
As I was watching it, and I don't know Bulls about it. You said it earlier. I'm direct sometimes to a fault at times, but I'll take shit from anybody, man. I don't mind succeeding in spite at times. And Jordan, that's kind of really what drove him.
And that's what always drove MJ. Succeeding in spite of anybody that tries to say, well, you can't do this or you can't do that. And Michael's like, fuck a whole lot of you. Watch this.
Yeah. Watch me, motherfucker.
Exactly. Like, watch this, motherfucker.
I know a lot of people are like upset, and rightfully so, looking back at it, just how Jerry Krause went about it. And, you know, I heard what Jerry Reinsdorf said, that he offered Phil to come back, and like
it was too late by then. Phil had already made this decision.
Yeah.
He made it well before Reinsdorf's offer, if you want to call it that.
Right. It just, I don't know either it's just like they say ego, or maybe the dynasty was going to end sooner or later. I don't believe that.
I don't
They definitely could have beat the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
And
they should have gotten 4 more years out of that.
Yeah, I don't know if the Lakers get a three-peat. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not with the way the Bulls were constructed, because they kicked the Lakers' ass in the regular season twice.
Yep. Shout out to Angelo here on Twitch. Hola. Thanks you so much for checking out the show, my man.
What's up, Angelo?
Yeah, I'm just thinking back on it now, like, oh, what could have been this? What could have been that? But like, at the end of the day, the guy does deserve some type of credit for Jerry Krause. Think about it, 2 different three-peats in 1 decade. That's not easy. I get it. Michael Jordan is the end-all be-all. I understand that. But to round that out where it's just not him, that's not easy to do.
It's not.
I didn't get to really experience the Jerry Krause experience. I was just too young. I mean, he retired by the time I was 8 years old. Like 2002 or 2003, right around that area. I was too young to understand that. But as much flack, and that's unfortunate for Jerry. He brought a lot of it to himself.
He did,
unfortunately, and they addressed that in the documentary. And that little man syndrome. Oh, I'm not getting enough credit. Blah 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 blah. And that's the sucky part about it. But I want to bring it back to some earlier Jordan stuff, because I had some questions. Because like, people always like to tell me about the struggles and the battles LeBron had in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter that he lost 4 or 5 NBA Finals series, and it doesn't matter this, it doesn't matter that. But talk about the level and real competition of the NBA before the dynasties started, because I look back at videos. We had these conversations before. Any Bulls Pistons series, that's basketball. That's competition.
If anybody wants to understand what MJ went through in his climb to the top of the mountain, all you have to do is look at 2 different series. Look at the series in '88 against the Detroit Pistons, where they lost in 5 games in the East semifinal, and how Detroit took us apart.
Yeah.
And then the ascension began May 7th, 1989, with The Shot, a shot that changed 2 franchises forever. I don't give a fuck what people say. Oh, LeBron rescued the Cavs. No, he didn't. He did not rescue the Cavs. Let me explain something. And I've said this, and people thought I'm making a joke about it, and in a way I am, and in a way I'm not. The legacy of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Craig Elo.
Period.
The legacy of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Wayne Embry. How's that for ownership? The legacy of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, John Hot Rod Williams. How about that? How about folks that were on the Cavaliers before LeBum showed up? How about that? Yeah. How about those Cavalier teams that consistently won 57 games a year? You want to know how great Michael Jordan is? Nobody else won a championship on his watch.
And no NBA Finals losses, and no NBA Finals that go to Game 7.
That went to a 7th game. Absolutely. Everybody else, everybody eats on LeBron's watch. Hell, Wardell Stephen Curry II, okay? That should tell you everything you need to know with that. And in fact, the NBA tried to drive a Kobe versus LeBron finals matchup, in 2009, but the only problem is LeBron got his ass kicked in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Orlando Magic.
Well, here's another reality check. And thoughts and prayers and rest in peace to the Black Mamba. He was better than LeBron, too. Yeah. Nobody wants that conversation either.
Nobody wants to have that. Let me let my dog out here. No one wants to have that conversation. Come on out, Lucy. No one wants to have that conversation in saying Kobe was, God rest you, Kobe, better than LeBron James. Period. No one wants to have that conversation. Why? Because it disrupts a narrative. disrupts a narrative where they can't, dear God in heaven, where they can't talk about, I love you, Cole, for this, their Kane without losses to it.
You know what? I'm glad we're talking about this because I thought about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I could describe a LeBron fan. You remember the OJs?
Yes.
Whenever I hear a LeBron fan speak, Brian Windhorst,
or Stephen A. if you want to present a veiled threat.
Jay Williams,
oh God,
Jeff Van Gundy.
Although I give Jeff Van Gundy a little bit of credit, he does say what is wrong with the NBA, and they're trying to silence him. Don't be surprised if they pull the trigger and fire his ass because he's telling the truth.
Right. Hey, I don't have the instrumental for this, but I'm going to give this a shot. Every time I hear LeBron sexual, as you coined the phrase, it goes like this. Forever mine. Oh, you are so fine.
I got a better one. I got a better one. All right, I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I believe this to be the case. Whenever they want to pin or put LeBron in a superior position, I hear that song. A little bit of Pink Floyd.
Yes. Yep.
That's what I hear. And I'm tired of it. I am tired of it.
What we had a phrase about this, right? It's grade A.
It's grade A, homogenized, Holstein, back ass, where it's fucked up bullshit. And every time I say that phrase, I add like 2 or 3 things to it.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I got that from the Snowman. Remember that. I say that occasionally on my show when I have to hear about how great of a Booker Tony Khan is. My ass.
That's some grade A, homogenized, Holstein, back ass, where it's bullshit. LeBron, the greatest of all time. Bitch, please. He's not even in the top 250. Okay? Kiss my fat ass. He's not. He was never a top player, in my opinion, at all.
I don't disagree with you. That's the thing.
He was never, ever, ever a top player. Ever.
Get those brooms ready.
Please, Nikola Jokic, finish this series off tonight. This is where Nikola drops a 30-point triple-double and knocks his punk ass out of the playoffs once and for all.
I'll be honest. Go ahead, Swin.
I'm tired. I'm sick and tired, especially since the Lakers beat the Warriors, and I highlighted the Lakers beating the Warriors in the previous series. But no, where's all the credit going? I rest my case. And none of it to Anthony Davis. None.
Hey, you can't go wrong with the LeBron show, right? Forever mine. I got what you like. Oh,
this is what I hear when I hear bronsexuals.
I'll be honest with you, Snowman. I've really lost touch and general interest in today's NBA, but I've been like observing from above from what Jimmy Butler's been doing in Miami, and that's why I kind of brought up the whole MJ thing. I'm not saying that Butler is on or will ever be on Michael, because no one will ever be on that level.
There will never be another Michael Jordan.
But to have a player like that really represent what the Bulls represented in Michael, it's been showcased throughout this whole playoffs.
Yeah.
And practically, this dude swept the Knicks besides the game he was out with an injury. Man, Oh man, Stephen A. Like, go New York, go New York, go home. Actually, go the fuck home and stay the fuck home. How about that? Can't stand the Knicks.
Stephen A., shut the fuck up.
How,
Please.
how annoying was that chanter the back in the day? Go New York, go.
No! No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
That annoying chant.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And I couple it with,
What in the blue hell do you think you're doing, you sick freak?
And another one. What? What? What?
What? What? Stay off the weed.
And then see what he has a new one for LeBron. He's like, stay off the three. LeBron can't shoot three, let alone a mid-range shot.
LeBron can't shoot, period.
What difference
Listen,
does it make?
let me say 4 words. LeBron James can't shoot. He never has been able to shoot. He never will be able to shoot. Period. He just never has been able to shoot. And this is what I hope happens to LeBron and the Lakers tonight.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
By the way,
we got to get the fuck up out of here.
By the way, how terrible is the name Crypto.com Arena? Is this bad as the Gary Comer Puma?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Get off my plane.
While I'm at Crypto.com Arena, to the person who made that advertising deal.
Has anybody ever told you you have a serious impulse control problem?
Fatality.
I'm sorry, I squeezed that one in there.
Oh, that's good.
Or
come again? What was the one? Dude, where's my car? Again?
again?
Again? I like some compound chicken. Again? Again.
This is what happens when you let imbeciles rename your arena. That one.
That's the one. That's the one. I don't want to bring down the mood here. We'll gonna wrap up in a little bit here, but
all right.
Let's talk a little bit about the current Bulls. They missed out on the play-in game, which is kind of interesting with where the Heat are right now. Honestly, I thought the Bucks were kind of fraudulent this year. I was not surprised that they were bouncing the first round of the playoffs.
No, I wasn't surprised either.
This new wave of firing coaches, even though they make the playoffs, has been kind of weird. Budenhauser, Doc Rivers,
Well, Doc Rivers had that coming. Doc Rivers had that coming.
Well, the whole city of Philadelphia should have saw that coming with their stupid ass. Oh, trust the process. A process of what? Nothing.
Oh, you can.
A process of that. Everybody getting kicked.
Oh, you can.
I have a present for you. Remember this?
It is time for the Skippy Bayless Bash. Skip Bayless talks crap all day long, and now it is our turn. We all know Bayless is a moron, but now
The real stars fight back.
Excuse me, bitch. Oh.
Excuse me, bitch.
my. I can't do the. Skippy Bale said. There you go. Skippy Bale said that my.
What was it? Shockometer 3000 or some shit
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Guys,
Shockometer 3000. I love it.
Guys, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel here, you'll see the archives of the Sports Drive. You can see everything me and Snowman have brought up on today's show.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun.
Here's another present for you.
And he rips one in the left. Kaneko, grand slam.
When that hit happened, I got to share this with you. My dad and I were watching the game. Dad was like in and out of consciousness because he was going through chemo at the time. When that happened, and I was at the game, but we watched the replay of it. When that happened, Dad must have gave me the tightest hug ever. Seeing that, I'm like, Dad, and he said, I know you were there and you saw the walk off. Like, but he just wanted to share that. We just needed to share that because we never got a chance to do it with my grandpa here because I lost him in '88.
Right.
But when the last hour was recorded, I know my mother must have gave me a hug and said, you know, Tiny, my grandpa, is looking down on you right now. 3 generations of White Sox fans, my grandfather, my father, and me. So
awesome.
I can't. I couldn't let you go without giving you that one. I couldn't let you go without giving you that one.
I got another surprise for you, actually.
All right, what you got?
This is brought to you by the good brother Stacey King here, Bulls killer commentator here. Since we're talking about Skippy Bayless and all this fun stuff, I guess we should add this to the list here.
That was the Shay Shay. He's giving the you stink to Shay Shay.
Let me tell you, Skip, I didn't appreciate what Patrick Beverly said, because Patrick Beverly used to be a Laker. I'm no longer Patrick Beverly fan.
I guess we're gonna have to watch. I guess we're gonna have to watch FS1 on Monday to see if.
Oh, I gotta see it.
Shannon
I gotta see it.
Beverly.
Skip, I'm gonna tell you something. That was uncalled for. What Patrick Beverly did to me at the Laker game. I'm gonna tell you something, Skip.
No.
Oh, hell no!
Snowman, what's going on with our Bulls? Is there every other year I always have to hear something about a rebuild this, rebuild that? Like,
Push
what
the
would you
puncher,
do?
blow the son bitch up, and start over. There's your answer.
And do what? That's what I don't get. Like, firing Donovan. What are we gonna do?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Because unless this guy walks through the door.
Michael on the drive across the lane. Turnaround shot. Got it. 63 for Jordan.
It's going to be a long process.
Yeah, man, that poor.
Very long process.
Yeah, the statue in the atrium is collecting cobwebs now, man. We need we need some
cobwebs. There's ants on it, and they may have blown up the United Center and put it back together, but they haven't put the team back together. Big problem.
We need to figure it out.
Need to. While I'm giving presents,
A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! A White Sox
winner
championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
and every Cub fan I knew was saying,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
that sound that I just played, I used to play for Josh all the time and catch him off guard.
That was a staple at the Roe Clark.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God!
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh.
Speaking of the White Sox, good to see them get a sweep. Man, that
Yes.
division is brutal. I may even call it JoJo Dutch. But man, that division is bad. Don't let the White Sox start getting more momentum. I feel bad for them. They're in Shitland tonight.
Oh, jeez.
How about
just
this?
Hope they continue the momentum.
How about this? How about this for a world trip? Shitland and then Detroit in 1 week. My God.
And I'm in an area where I'm between Indianapolis and Louisville, and I'm trying so hard to get White Sox games on, and they will not show it. It's pissing me off.
What a bunch of bullshit.
It's pissing me off that I can't get White Sox games here in this area. That's nerve-wracking.
Are you stuck with the Reds?
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't run into Jim Cornette, all right?
I'm stuck. I'm stuck with the fucking Reds.
You remember Jim Cornette, right?
No, I remember him quite well.
Tennis racket and all.
Tennis racket and all. I'm stuck with the Reds, and I don't watch. I'm taking my wife's stance. I don't watch baseball. I'm taking my wife's stance. Unless I get a free White Sox game, and I'm probably going to throw the headset on and do a play-by-play reaction to it, then I can't watch anything. I can't do it.
God forbid those ugly ass city uniforms they just released. I just saw that for the Reds a couple weeks ago. Man, that's ugly.
And
ain't nobody got time for that.
And
oh hell no.
And
that is blasphemous. That is blasphemous. How dare you? How dare you say such a thing?
There you go.
Last thing before we head out here, because we have a lot of fun in here. Is there any other memories of us on air or sports drive you'd like to share with the audience before we head off and see LeBron do what he does best?
I used to play that for Noble Street Baseball. There's this one. I'll give you this one. Josh was not feeling good one day. And he said, just in case I don't make it, can you handle the sports drive for me? Sure, I can do that, but you're going to make it. He said, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling up to it. Well, old Snowman went to work, and I said, I know you want to tell the people but you can't do it. And Josh is already giggling. He said, you hit me with another sign like that, I'm going to have no choice but to come on. I said, okay. So I decided to hit him with a triple play of this.
Fatality.
And this.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
And
he did what?
And Josh was like, all right, fuck it. I'm coming on today. And I simply said, you're welcome. And I hung up the telephone.
Yes, you did. That's true. That's
true. I said, you're welcome. And I hung up the telephone. I cleaned myself up and came back, and we did the show. And Josh was peering at me the whole time with this wicked smile on her face. And he's just going, damn you, Snowman. Damn you.
damn.
Oh, thank you for saying. All right, well, I'll give you this one.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay.
All right.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
And before we get out of here, gotta close with our favorite sound.
Down.
Track down memory lane, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Hey, before we see LeBron do what he does best and shit the bed on final ends of series, and he's ready to lead the court before the game's over. You know, the whole LeBron feel, right? I just wanted to say thank you, Snowman, for coming on and reaching out to me. So you wanted to catch up and come on the pod. You're always welcome on anytime you want.
My pleasure.
Know that I love you, my man. I'm very happy to see that smile back in your face. You're looking like nothing happened. Like I said earlier, man. Fuck cancer. Cancer had nothing on you.
Absolutely. Fuck cancer and everything associated with it.
Snowman, let everybody know where they can find you and what's coming up on your network, my man.
Oh man. Wednesday I will be back to doing 2 shows a day. I have the Brian Snow show coming back on Wednesday. We'll talk some NFL. Of course, you know, Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson each weekday morning at 8 a.m. That time is going to change in a month's time because we just picked up a new West Coast audience based out of Reno, Nevada, and all points west. So we're going to set up a time where everybody can catch the show at a reasonable time because with me going on at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, it's 5 a.m. on the West Coast, and my EP out that way from a CSTV came to me and said, let's move it up a couple of hours. So I'm coordinating with everybody, and we're going to get it done. We are going to get it done.
Sweet. Everybody, you can check me out at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast and my Instagram at Joshie Lopez Media. If you want to see me do some guitar covers, I've uploaded some new ones. Check it out on TikTok at Josh Lopez Music. We have a new episode of Hoots Podcast dropping on Thursday. Make sure you go check out anywhere you get your podcasts from. I always tell people if you want to start doing some podcasting work, make sure to go on Anchor so you can get a jump start on having your show on a bunch of different platforms. And you go and learn the process of the business, and who knows, maybe start making some money on the side too. So you never know. So
absolutely,
give it a shot on Anchor. And Snowman, till next time. Thank you, my brother.
I salute you, my friend. I salute you. Thank you so much.
All right, folks. For the Snowman, I'm Josh. It's been a special bonus episode of the Who's Podcast. I'll talk to y'all later. Yes, sir.